Hi all, this is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York, where the weather is hot and muggy, and we're expecting Henry. Tropical storm Henry is heading our way, but not until Sunday. Meanwhile, we have a storm brewing on Wall Street. Today looks clear on Wall Street, but those clouds can roll back in by Monday. So let's take a look at the overall averages, SPX, IWM I want to look at, for some clues as to whether we are going to correct, crash, or just a head fake. And I think just by looking at the charts, we can learn a lot. So we'll do that. I want to do a bunch of charts today. I want to do Tesla, chart Tesla. BCRX, athx, CRISPR, CRTX, SAVA, gbtc, and for Sherry, a special request to chart APPS. So APPS is a very interesting chart. It had a phenomenal run, and now it's got a phenomenal drop. We're going to take a look at that one and see where buying opportunity may come in. I do like that one for a turnaround. So thank you for asking for that one, Sherry. We're gonna get to that one, maybe right from the get-go. I'm working solo today. Professor Spike had a conflict today and couldn't make it. So let's see. Welcome a few people to the show. That's in the chat area. Dan says, good morning, Dr. Spike. Good re-entry on SAVA. The CEO said a major multi-year cash infusion was coming, hinting at a partnership with Big Pharma. And why didn't he just say we're exploring partnerships with Big Pharma? Could have been straightforward. Jiggly is here this morning. Jiggly's always looking for fresh meat. Well, I hope APPS satisfies your fresh meat request, Jiggly. Dan is welcoming a jig. He says we need some fresh meat that is already seasoned. And Patrick is with us, reporting on CPI at 5%. U.S. government reports consumer price index at 5.5%. But we know the real number is closer to 20%. Professor Spike, which is a good hedge against hyperinflation, Barrick Gold or Newmont Gold, or real estate? Now, Professor Spike isn't here to answer that question, but when the government says 5.4%, and when we go into the supermarket, it feels more like 20%, what do we believe? Well, it's probably somewhere in between, especially in certain items. Sesson got the CRL as I predicted, says Dan. Dan was clairvoyant on that one. Definitely clairvoyant. And Jiggly said ATHX is old, dirty meat, but still worth looking at, Jiggly. So we're going to get right to the charts because I don't have a hell of a lot of time today myself to go through everything. And what did Dan say about Arjun? Arjun covered his elbow in V-big shorts and headed for the border. Haha. I'm not aware of what Arjun did with elbow and V-bib, but he's certainly not sure. Let's get to the charts. Okay, first let's take a look at what's up today. The S&P is up a little more than 0.5%. The Dow bouncing back 0.5%. The NASDAQ strong at 0.88%. The Russell pretty strong at 0.67%. Crude oil is down, gold is up, but fractionally. So that's where we are with the markets, a little bit of a bounce back day, but don't get too excited. Don't get too excited just yet, boys and girls. So let's take a look at the SPX. The SPX, I took the liberty of doing a little Fibonacci retrace from the March 2020 lows. The SPX at the lowest point, hard to see, I think 24.78, something like that. And it's run all the way up to recent highs at 44.68. I thought I saw it even higher than that, but I guess not. In any event, I just did this just in case there is a correction. When it comes to the indices, it's uncanny how they seem to correct to certain key levels. So let's take a look at some of these levels. The 38.2% correction doesn't look particularly interesting. The 61.8% level looks even less interesting. The 50% level does look a little interesting. Of all, that looks the most interesting, but not like a tremendous, ooh, it stopped just at such and such a spot. So to me, that could mean that we're going to make a few new highs before we start retracing. I think when we do retrace, we're going to do at least 38.2%, if not 50%. So yes, I think the big one is coming. I just don't know if it's here yet. Let's take a look at IWM. This one we've looked at extensively. Let's go back to the daily again. And we've drawn the lines for the trading range quite a few times. I don't know why it keeps getting erased, but I'll draw it again. The top of the trading range, right about here, at 234 and change. And the bottom of the trading range, right about here, at, I think it's 204, this number, 204.84. So let's say 204. Let's say 204 to 234, 30-point trading range. We're getting close to taking out a recent low of 209.05. Had that low fallen, I would have begun to sell. Not everything, but I would have begun to sell. And should the 204 level fall, then I'm going to sell a lot because I believe that's a very key level. At the very least, 204, a break of 204 will take us to 190. Now that's a significant drop in and of itself from peak to trough. Let me draw in the 190 level. So 190 to 234, that's a nice drop of 44 points, which is almost 20%. So almost a bear market correction, and it may stop just shy of that, or it may continue on down to to come down to much lower levels. So we have a lot of possibilities. The first possibility is an inky-dinky 3 to 5% correction. Second possibility is more like a 20% correction on the IWM and less in the S&P and in the Dow. We've already gotten from 234 to 210, where we were this morning, 24 points or a 10% correction has already happened. So that's happened many times. It happened from, see if I can get some dates. It's happened, we got 10% correction right here from 315, from 315 until 325. In 10 days, we went down about 10%. Then it happened again recently, more recently, right here on 625, it was 233, went down to a low of 209, about 10%. So there you go. We've been getting a lot of these 10% corrections, but at some point, you know, you're going to get the big one. And when we get the big one, it will either just barely take us into bear market territory and then stop, or it will be really big, more like a 50% or 60 or 61.8% correction off of the March 2020 lows. So that would be the biggie. And we're watching for a break of 204 to start worrying about the crash. Not worried about a crash just yet. 209, I begin to get shudders. If chills, if that gets taken out, my antennae will be raised, and I will be very much on guard for that big sell-off. And I would be lightening up at that point. But today's bounce back negates my immediate fear. Let's take a look at APP. By the way, it's not clear whether it's this little ripple of a correction is over. I don't think it is over. APPS. I got the wrong symbol. APPS. Digital Turbine. This is another interesting one to figure out where the bottom is, because clearly we've been in a falling knife situation where every day it just goes down more and more and more. Say hallelujah, today might break the 10-day losing streak. We might actually put in a plus day. We're plus 74 pennies at 48.64. Come down from numbers that were much higher, much higher. On March 2nd, we were 102.56. So we had a 50% haircut off of that. And if we look at the weekly, I mean, the key question is, where do we stop falling? And when is it worth going into? And of course, this company had an unbelievable run from let's see, from 348 back in March, the lows of March, to over 100. So let's quickly draw the fib retrace on that one, just out of curiosity. See if that shows us anything of interest. Fibonacci. All right. Where was it? Here we go. March 16th, 20. So we start right there. And we go up to, I want to go higher than that, but it's not letting me for now. That looks pretty right. So what would be the 61.8% retrace? That looks like where we're heading at this point, because we broke through the 50, the 100 is below the 61.8%. So it looks like one of the places that it could very easily stop is at the 61.8 retrace, which is approximately 42 and a half. So 42.50 would be a good, let's say $43 would be a good entry point or place to add on, because this thing is not going to zero. You see this phenomenal run from 3 to 100. It was based on prospects for enormous growth. I'm not sure if it's quarterly earnings are supporting that kind of growth, but I think they were good. And basically, I think the company is in an interesting space which is basically marketing and promoting apps and websites, web businesses, digital advertising, digital turbine. So I think they're in an interesting space, and I think the falling knife has to stop falling at some point. It might as well be the 61.8 retrace. I like the 61.8 retrace. So I would put a number on that. I'm not to come in at $43 per share. I know it's $5 below where we are, which would be a painful $5 if I'm right, for a lot of longs, but a great buying opportunity if you're looking to get in and don't have a position. So that would be a very key level. If it breaks that 61.8% level, as Professor Omar likes to say, forget it, just forget about it. But I'm thinking it will hold and turn it around. Of course, if you get a few green candles in a row, beginning with today, then I would say it's worth nibbling right where it is. But for now, it looks like it should go lower. I think it should test that 61.8 retrace. That's where I am on my thinking. Let me just see if anybody has any questions. Anybody, does the audience have any questions on APPS? Linda's with us. Linda. Babies are here and all breathing on their own. My namesake is only 2.7 pounds plus SAVA. So we have a little Linda. Congratulations to Linda. What is it? Is it quadruplets? I think so, right? Quadruplets. Linda, when Linda does something, she does it in a big way. So congratulations, Linda. And all right. Session is being requested by Kay Stopka, Ruben, BCRX. What else? Anybody else have requests? Pete is with us today. He has a request for KNSA. So let's do that before we do the others. KNSA. For Pete, KNSA. keep in mind when I get a request like this and I don't know anything about the company, I just have to look at only the chart. So please don't criticize me by saying I don't know the fundamentals, because I don't know the fundamentals. And I don't wish to be criticized for that. The stock is up big time today, 5.5% to 1232. And I just want to undo the drawings. Okay, so we've been in a bit of a falling knife pattern here too. But today's candle is a big engulfing candle, clearly engulfing the red candle from yesterday, from Thursday. So if this holds up today, Pete, and it closes above the 9-day moving average, I think you could look forward to a move to the 50 moving average, which is at 1390. So I think you're going to look for a move to 1390 area if this candle holds up and closes like high where it is now or higher. So I'm looking for 1390 on KNSA. Thank you for that request, Pete. Let's see if there's other requests. Mark says TSP is fresh meat to Jiggly. Let's look at TSP. We're giving lots of fresh meat to Jiggly today, because we want to keep everybody happy. Linda, I'm so glad that you and the babies are doing well. You're giving new meaning to the phrase "baby needs a new pair of shoes." All right, let's see. I love this turnaround. I really love this turnaround. This is such a clear turnaround. I mean, you don't have to look past the tip of your nose to see this. This thing is bottomed. So very nice. It's dipping down today, 62 pennies. I think a good buying opportunity. You want to wait for a little bit, be a little greedier. I would look at the middle of the body of the candle from yesterday. If you want to be a little greedier as to the buy-in price, I would look for this area right there. Not much cheaper, $33.95. 33 can't be 95. 33.18. So I think it's possible you can get it still cheaper, but okay if you jump in right here and with a small buy and then look to add if it drops a little lower. It does look from the size and shape of these candles, these green candles, that this turnaround is for real. So we like the chart very much. Chart is telling us that this is a good opportunity to get in on a turnaround play. Okay, let's see if there's any other requests. You know what? Let me do one off of my list, then I'll come back. I'll do BCRX. Undo the drawing. Okay, we said that for the daily that the 100 should hold. Well, it didn't, but it's holding. It's back above the 100 right now, up 27 cents. So while it didn't exactly hold, it never broke below the 100. So it's close enough. Does this mean it's a good place to jump in? I think so, provided the market doesn't collapse, which is a big proviso, because That's certainly a possibility. Certainly a possibility. The key support area isn't really down, is much lower, right about here at 1312. So 1312 is key support, and resistance at this point would be probably, yeah, definitely right up here at about 1681 is resistance. So we have quite a big disparity. 1681 is resistance, and 1312 is support. We haven't really broken the 100, which is another area of support. So right now, watch the close above 100. The 100-day average here would be bullish. That's 1447. We want to close today above 1447 on BCRX. athx has been giving back. Pete, what happened to your new trading range? Pete predicted a new trading range that was above the old trading range for athx. Well, we're testing the lower ends of some trading range, I guess. Are we continuing to make higher lows? We made a low of 135.719. On 8/4, we made a low of 145. And today we made a low of 146. The trend of higher lows is good, but we want this 145 to hold. So the very key support here at 145. A break of that, I think we retest 135. I know it's pennies here, but those pennies matter. So we want 145 to hold. Otherwise, I think we're looking at 135. Resistance is pretty obvious right up here at about 175. Okay, so that's, I'm not going to dwell on athx because Jiggly gets impatient. The good news for today is that Linda and her babies are doing well. That's what's important. Linda, we were all thinking of you, believe me. All right, so let's see. The low here on CRISPR 727 was 113.34. That's a very key low, very important support. Let me draw that right in. That must hold. If that doesn't hold, we're dropping probably 94 pennies. So that's when we really want that one to hold. I didn't draw a perfect straight line, but close enough. So 113, if that fails, then we're going to test this area here at 109. And if that doesn't hold, then we're looking at the 94, double bottom at 94 that we have. So I think, yeah, we basically have a double bottom at 94. All right, so 94 would be the absolute bottom here. Break of that, and as Professor Omar says, just give up. I don't see that happening unless we have our market crash. We may have, but for now, that's certainly not clear. And the action today is pretty good. We have potentially, if it moves up significantly more, we could have an engulfing candle today. But it would have to move up above yesterday's high of 120.87. Not impossible for CRISPR. CRISPR's been very bad, falling straight down from 142 to today's low of 115. That didn't feel too good for all those CRISPR fans, longs. But we live to fight another day. Maybe today is the turnaround. If not, we might get closer to that 113 level. Dr. J will be probably adding. Let's take a look at another interesting one no, I won't do the same space. Let's take a look at it. One of our favorites, CRTX. AD play, Alzheimer's. What'd I do? I didn't spell it right. Dr. J can't type. CRT. That should be better. We are down 93 cents on an up day, not good. Yet we're putting in a green candle, which is okay. So even though we're down, it's still a bullish candle, not quite as bullish as I would like because we have a long upper shadow, no lower shadow, but it is a green candle, even though we're down on the day. I'd like to see it finish in the green. Of course, that's what I'd like. It doesn't mean it will. And at this point, I'm out of most of my CRTX, having run it up from $53, but I still own about 1/6 of my original position. And I'm looking for probably a re-entry right about $86 at what the new support is. Let me draw that new support line. The new area of support is exactly 86.45, 3 points below where we are now. And the new resistance would be right up here at about $96. So there we have it. Trading range is between 83. Trading range between 86 and 96 for now. I want to draw a SAVA because largely because of Dan's remark. Will there be non-dilutive financing in the form of a partnership? We have to wait and see. According to the CEO, a matter of weeks or months. Whenever a CEO says weeks or months, it's usually months. All right. We've been trading in what could be a new trading range, actually, for SAVA. Let's try to draw a trend line here. Well, first let me undraw all the old drawings and draw a little trend line. Or maybe a channel for that matter. Okay, so I drew a channel, and clearly we're trading slightly below the channel. It was a sharp ascending channel, so a little consolidation is not to be fretted upon too much. Let me put in the new support area. The new area of support is right about here at 97, 93, figure $98. and the resistance is up here at 126. And that's big range. And I think that's our new trading range. So that's the range that I just drew in. It makes sense that we're going to be in that range for a little while at least. SAVA might pop on good news, as Dan suggested. Let's take a look at CRISPR. Did we do CRISPR? We did CRISPR. What didn't we do? I don't, maybe I want to go back and take another look at CRISPR. It's an interesting stock to chart. And maybe let me get rid of this drawing. Okay, so CRISPR again, we talked about 113 and 94. Let's also look at the March lows from March 20 and see if we can draw a fib retrace on this one. Look at the weekly, tighten it up a bit. So the March 16th low is 32.30. Wow, 32.30. Makes you pause, right? Makes you pause. Let's draw in the fib retrace. It went as high as 212, I believe. It went as high as 220. All right, and let's see where a logical place for this to stop falling is based on the Fibonacci retrace. Of course, I didn't get the bottom and the top precisely right, but that's okay. The 61.8% retrace was actually aligned with with the bottom that we looked at earlier at $95. So it's very interesting. The candle made on 5/10/2021. Well, that's on the weekly. So let me just go back to the daily again so I can get more precise. All right, so the 61.8% retrace. Is it different on the daily? That's strange. Looks a little different on the daily. Well, on the daily, 61.8% would be down here. All right, so it would be roughly the 5/11/2021 candle at 95.11 anyway. So that would be the 61.8% retrace, actually a little bit more of that than 61.8%, but it immediately bounced back. So that's okay. It basically retraced a fib number of 61.8%. Let's take a look at, so that suggests to me that it's not going to go below 95.11. That would be rock solid bottom on CRISPR. Not that you want to see it get there. What else did we have for today? I had listed You just take a look. So GBTC is one that we did. The only one we didn't do. GBTC. GBTC. And Bitcoin is up $1.70. Great Bitcoin Trust, Grayscale, is up 4.5%, along with the current Bitcoin itself. And let's just draw in quickly. Let's draw in the support and the resistance, and then we'll call it a day. I miss Professor Spike. Hope you're having a pleasant day, Professor Spike. Yeah, where are we here? Okay, so we have trading range from 31.37 to the high of 39.86. So 31 and a half to 31 and a half to 39, let's call it 40, 31 and a half to 40, 8.5 point trading range. We're in this trading range now for about 3 weeks. And it looks to me like we're going to stay in this trading range. So here's an idea. As it approaches $40, Grayscale, you short this sucker. When it gets to the midpoint of the trading range, which would be about 35, you cover your short. If it gets to the 31.50 area, you go long, and you cover it, and you cover at 35. This one looks like it's going to be trading range bound for a while. So that would be my theory. Shorted at the top of the trading range, and go long at the bottom of the trading range. Get out somewhere in the middle of the trading range. Play it up and down like a ping pong that I think it's going to be. Of course, a break of $40, and it could run all the way up to, let's put that in, all the way up to $48. So another way to play it is sit back and wait for it to break out of the trading range one way or the other, and then just go that way. So break of 40, you go long. Break of 31.50, you go short. It's another way to play it. And I think we covered everything. Man is with us. I think we're going to stop screen sharing, and we'll just chat a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Slam that subscribe button, and remember, our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. Do your own due diligence, check with an advisor before acting, and definitely listen to Linda. Anybody who could have 4 babies knows a lot. She learned a lot from having 4 babies. She could be a better stock picker. And Chris is here with us today, and Jiggly, of course, Linda, and Dan, and Professor Omar is here. What's Professor Omar got to say? Talking about CRISPR. Okay. So he got out of a little CRISPR and he bought something else. I don't know what that something else is. There's a lot of conversation going on. I mean, hundreds of comments. I suggest, if you haven't already, replay this so that you can read the conversation. In many respects, it's very interesting. Big Tex is with us today. How you doing, Big Tex? And he's questioning Dan about the CEO remark on SAVA. M is with us. Good morning, M. So we have a lot of people with us that today. Jigglypuff, of course, with JMIA. RMF Consulting is with us. Next time I will do those requests, but it's just too much for one show. PAVM again, yeah, I remember that one. And Linda, kiss each one of those 4 little girls for me. Tell them this is from Dr. J. Dan is a gambler, riverboat gambler. He loves to double down, sink or swim. And Linda says quadruple down on JMIA for quadruplet week. All right, JMIA, I would love to chart that one, but I'm out of time. Next time I will chart JMIA. And Linda wants me to look at VBIB. Linda, next time, I hate to turn you down, but I'm running late. And Sounds by Romilly is with us. Wow, I mean, it's into the hundreds and hundreds of comments. Wow, this is a show unto itself. Fuel cell on my small poop list, says Linda. Well, you're pretty good at it. I guess you're going to be pretty good at what the type is. It's a little poop you're used to. Peeing is holding a core position in SAVA, waiting for 12 months, also an if right beyond. Peeing is a smart man, holding SAVA for the long term, the big payoff. Professor Oma, all the strength of SAVA comes from that call. If he comes out with BS, man. So Professor Oma says it all rests on the partnership coming through. And yeah, and again, continuing with that remark, Professor Omar answering Dan, what matters are expectations. The CEO has to come out with something really good. And Dan says Remy, the CEO, had Pain Therapeutics and ran into the ground. Not good that all of SAVA studies so far are open label. We want a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, I guess. I think you can learn a lot from open label, though. There's so much conversation. I'd love to go through more of the conversation because it's so interesting. But I want you to go through it. You, the viewer, if you, like I said before, if you haven't been following the conversation, then oh, 2 boys, 2 girls. Wow. 2 boys, 2 girls. I don't know why I thought they were all girls. My mistake. And Daryl is with us. Daryl J. Daryl Beard, MD. Dr. Beard, welcome. We have a lot of doctors. Dr. Feldman. A lot of doctors view this show. And that's good because they have a different perspective than we do, just looking at charts. They look at fundamentals a lot more than the charts, usually. Spoon is with us today, and he's renaming the show the Jigglypuff Show. Maybe I should call it that. Even if Jiggly never shows his face, from now on, I'm going to call it the Jigglypuff Show. Is that okay with you, Jiggly? Jiggly, would you have an objection if Dr. J calls this show the Jigglypuff Show? I want to know. Oh, I guess Jiggly's okay with that. All right, so signing off from Long Island, New York, wishing you a great weekend. Remember, enjoy the beach if you can, if you're not in the way of Henry and you're not going to get bad weather, take advantage of it. Summer is dwindling down. Be smart in the market, and adios amigos until Tuesday. Ciao.